Oh, yeah. John Duty.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So he says, in recovery it's essential to be on no acetol. Or acetol. He prescribed me no acetol for 2 years. But that was over 2 years ago, and I broke that, so. Actually.
Yep. I recommend staying away from butt sex as well. So.
Yeah. Well, I broke that too.
Yeah.
Sexual. Hopefully you edit this podcast before you put it on there.
We're not hiding behind our masks anymore.
Damn it. Take your mask off.
Yeah,
not the one you're wearing.
About that just the other day. His name was Michael Brody Waite. And he writes books and stuff. And he reached out to me and was like, hey, I want to be on your podcast. Here's what I can offer to people that listen. And I thought, man, that's great. And I should give you the number because you can take a free assessment and he'll give you like your mask, like what you're trying to hide or some.
Really?
Yeah.
What's his name? Michael Brody?
Michael Brody Waite. And he's done like TED Talks and stuff like that. A really, really smart guy. He's got like 19 years from California, lives in Nashville now.
Wow.
But it was pretty interesting. If you text mask free to 33777, you'll get a free assessment of a mask free assessment.
Sweet.
So yeah, it's something I should probably do too. But I just told him that I'm afraid of failure because he said, when you go into a job interview and they always ask, what are you horrible at or what are you bad at? What are your weaknesses? And you're like, well, because you don't know what to say.
Right.
You don't want to come out and say, well, I'm afraid of failure. I'm afraid of being judged. Mm-hmm. Those things kind of make me stay away from things that I probably could do a lot better if I just would take those fears and push them away. But I don't say that. I just say, well, I usually run about 5 minutes late, like stupid stuff. And he was talking about that, though, and especially in one of his podcasts, or not his podcast, but in one of his TED Talks, I think he was talking about that exact thing. And he's right. Like we still like, we don't want to give him the whole, hey, here it is. Here's my big pile of dookie. This is my worst. But instead we try to step it back and see, okay, which one can I give him? And he just telling a story about how his sponsor told him, because he had left like 3 years blank because he had just been doing drugs and he went to this new job, filled out the application. Like, what do I put down for that? And he's like, you can put down exactly what you did. Man. He's like, but then they're going to know. He's like, yep, they sure are. You're going to tell them. What? and he did tell him. He got the job. And he said that was his first time, like he was like sigh of relief, like, oh, okay. Like, it's not that bad. People aren't going to judge me. And he's not the only one in the world. And I had that same experience when I worked at Hearthside Grove, where the owner came up to me and was like, hey, I looked you up. And I was like, what?
Right.
And he was like, yeah, I probably should have looked you up before I hired you. And I was like, what does that mean? He's like, what's this 217 recovery? And I was like, oh, that's, something I started, blah, blah, blah. And you in recovery? And right then, it was just like time had stopped.
Right.
And I was like, what do I say? And it was one of the first times that I'd ever been caught really in that situation. So I didn't have an answer ready. And it was this, yep, I am in recovery. I got, 4 months sober at that point, and he's like, well, good for you. He's like, I'm glad I hired you.
Yeah.
He's like, I can tell you're passionate about it and nothing wrong with people coming into work who didn't get drunk the night before, And I'm like, absolutely. So, but it was that moment where I could have lied.
Yeah. And
then he started going, and I figured all that out. I listened to your podcast and I did this and that. So if I would have lied,
he would have had to.
I don't. He wouldn't have fired me, but he just would have thought, really, I don't know about this guy. Like, why would he lie to me about that? And sometimes we don't know. We're just trying to protect ourselves, and part of our brain is built that way, where we try to protect ourselves. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with being in recovery, bro.
No, and I've had to go down that road, on a lot of applications. Like, I just tell them straight up, like, I'm in recovery. Yes, I do have a felony. Yes, I did 7.5 years in prison. And I can't change that. I can't, there's no lie I could tell to cover any of that up, but it's like, I'm not doing the things that I used to do. And I made a vow, like, when I went to prison, like, I'm never going to hurt someone that way again. Like, I committed armed robbery when I was 21, and, I actually use it on a job application. I use it as a way to say, like, yeah, I was there. I lived that life, and this is where I'm at now. Yes, I've had relapses, and I will never and have never crossed that line again, And drug use is, we're all in a state of kind of suffering, and we're all, it's funny because, like, you look at, corporations, and it's like, you steal, I wish we had a camera, you steal this much, and you get a pat on the back. You steal this much, and you go to prison. And it's like, the emotional trauma, like, no one was hurt in my crime, and it, like, physically, but the emotional trauma that I caused in being a survivor from trauma is like, man, what was I thinking? You can't, and then there comes a point where you just can't blame drugs and alcohol anymore. Like, we're making our choices. We know what happens when we, get out there, and I don't know, but we can't go back and change that. But, like, on an application, I use that as a stepping stone to be like, yes, this is where I've been, and it's almost like, yeah, and, if you help me, it's like you can be a part of that story of, like, help and change someone's life, because I'm genuinely today, trying to do the right thing. And I'll say, I'm in recovery. And that's a big part. Like, I had to learn the hard way to not overwork myself. And, thank you to the people in Petoskey, like Waterfront Property Management and Bob Goldsmith and Sons Roofing, that have given me chances and let me show them how hard of a worker I've been, in Peterson Farms and in Hart, Michigan, and Sandy Shores Campground in Silver Lake, like, giving me the opportunity to show them. And you can't live in shame. Like, the relapses and, like, that stuff happens, but we're not there anymore. Like, we're here, we're in today, and it's like, what do I gotta do to stay on this path? And just, like, I don't know, man. I'm glad you brought that up, though. Like, the honesty is it's a big, like you said, we're just trying to protect ourselves, and people are just trying to, if you think about it, that's, it's that survival mechanism, like, trying to protect myself and move forward. And a lot of the stuff we do, a lot of the hurts we cause people, it's like, you're hurt, you're trying, the guy, going back to the guy in group that's, like, saying all the shit that he knows the therapist wants to hear, and going outside of the room and doing a 180, it's like, we're all just hurt, suffering people doing what we know how to feel better. And whether that's lie and steal, and then there just comes a point in life where you're like, this shit ain't making me feel better anymore, man. Like, lying and stealing, and, it's not. And it's, I don't know, just coming, we were talking about ethics earlier today, and, like, what that means, and just, the difference between morality and, like, being moral and ethic, and, like, personal morals and communal morals, I guess. And just, it's funny how bring up lying. I'm glad no one's keeping track.
And also the where people say, man, life's not fair. I'm like, thank God.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fair. It's when it's unfair and benefiting you, you're not complaining, though.
Yeah, no. There's way more of those times.
Yeah.
Than the unfair happens to you.
Yeah.
Where's that yesterday? Somebody asked me how I was doing, and I just told them, I was like, well, oh no, I was at my girlfriend's mom's house, and we were having dinner, and her sister, I think, asked me, how's it going, Corey? And I'm like, oh, I just got a bunch of white people problems today.
Right.
My computer didn't come, and I was all pissed off. And I was like, really though, if that's the worst thing that happens to me that day, that's a pretty good day. You're sorry, your computer didn't come.
Going back to the story about the lady telling me how sunburnt she got, and now she has to even out her tan lines.
Oh, that poor thing.
Yeah. Big problems. Well, I'm trying to get, help with this. I'm trying to get access to these resources, and, the library is closed. Like, I don't have my family around here. Like, I'm relying on my peers and people to kind of guide me through this way of life that's completely foreign to me. And it's like, I don't have no complaints. Like, God's blessed me, man. I woke up, I had a warm place to sleep last night. I had food, a beautiful day, got to get out, talk to some fellow people that are trying to better themselves, and I didn't have to steal, and I didn't have to lie. I'm sure I told a few lies, like, out of exaggeration or whatever, that I'm... but... Don't get me lying. No, but, it was just a good day today, and just getting in touch, playing some music, and just, I'm blessed that I live in a transitional house, and I'm around people in recovery all day. Like, in a world 6 feet away, where we're unable to even go to an AA meeting or NA meeting, or gather in groups of more than 10 people. It's hard. It's hard out there, but, I can honestly say I don't have any complaints. I had a pretty good day today, and it's just nice to know, I don't need a lot of the shit that I thought I used to need. And
right.
I still think I need some things that I probably don't need as much as, other things in my life, like connection and a relationship with who, my creator, and I get that from just being outside. And damn Michigan days to be raining at night, sunny in the morning, snowing in the afternoon.
Yeah, and you got to come here to the 217 Recovery Studio. You got to see a deer outside.
That was awesome.
And we do have to kind of wrap it up because I do want to record you playing a song, and I'll put that on the website.
Sweet.
So you can check out 217recovery.com. Listen to the previous podcast. Gabe, thanks for coming by today.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks for about to jam on this song. But go to our website, 217recovery.com. We have blogs there as well and resources. If you need harm reductions info, it's there. Sober living for men, sober living for women. It's there as well. And different pathways. If you think, oh, AA is not right for me, NA is not right for me, Celebrate Recovery is not right. There's like 12, 13 different ways that I have it. There's like hundreds of different ways out there total. So just check out and find out what works for you best. But have a good one, and check out Gabe's song at 217recovery.com under the fun page. See you.